I would commend to you page 7, because that tells you how to use it. Because the titles of the markers might not be what you think they are.
Morning. Still morning.
In 2 minutes, yes. Although, again, I think that clock is wrong.
Yeah.
But it is
Too.
the official clock.
It is the official clock. Yep, it's off by a minute.
When I was in Afghanistan, Afghanistan was always a half hour in front of every place else.
Little clock, the new clock out here on the corner, the one that they, you know, it's different on all 4 sides.
I keep
Because
busting.
I tell them all the time.
So do I.
Every time I see something, I'm like, really?
Good time. Well, you know,
Because they
just
were-
pick a time.
It's 10:15, so they did, but it took them a minute to do each side.
So now they're a minute off. Yeah.
All the way around.
Thanks. I was going to go do that.
Everybody's mic on. Good morning. It's November 21st, 2003. This is the meeting of the Historic Preservation Board of Denison, Texas. It will now come to order at 12 noon. Present members are Kurt Chakowski, Steve Riley, and Rhonda Bourne, and myself, Kirsten Solomon. Assuming there's no public comments, okay. So we will move on to items of individual consideration. A, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on approving the minutes from the November 7th, 2003 meeting. Do we have any comments from the board? None?
I move we approve the minutes from the 14th of November. November 7th.
Seven.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Kurt Chakowski and a second by Rhonda Bourne. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion carries. Item B, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on a variance for signage on building and monument sign at 401 West Woodard.
The little mouth symbol. Little mouth symbol.
Now you're there.
Bratcher Funeral Home formerly occupied this space, and so we have new owners, and they have redone the building, and that has previously been approved. At that time, they weren't aware of what signage they were going to use, and so now they're coming back to us and requesting the signage, and they will be using a wall sign, which is acceptable according to the standards. And so they've asked for approval for that, and then they've also asked for a monument sign, which is not addressed in our historic preservation portion of the sign ordinance. And so when that happens, it was on purpose, because most of the time a monument sign is not appropriate for the historic overlay district. But when that request is received, then we have to do it as a variant, stated as a variance on the agenda, and that has been done. So you'll need to consider both applications. Do you have the, that's the monument sign, and then do you have the other one? You can barely see it there on the, right on the far side, and it's wall lettering. And we have, the applicants are here to present if you have any questions.
Just for my information, is the variance for the sign there or for the big
The big
monument?
sign.
So right there, that C-type thing right there.
Right.
And what'll be turned up. And just again, for my information, from our ordinance and our design guidelines, typically we don't have a wall that big or that
Right.
long.
Right.
Okay.
Nor is it typically appropriate for a monument sign space to be located in the historic district, because buildings are back to back. And so that's why it wasn't included, because it's not typically appropriate. But, you know, in certain cases, it may be, and so at that time, a variance can be requested. They can request a variance anytime, you know. I
And this
may
has
or may
already gone
not
to
recommend
planning and-
approval.
I'm
Pardon?
sorry. As this has already gone to planning and zoning?
No, it doesn't have to.
Okay.
But there's no other chapter other than 30 that we have to worry about a variance for?
Right.
Okay.
I think that the sign ordinance is, I want to make sure that I address your question appropriately.
I'm looking back here, and the permit guys and Mary back here on staff, but there's no other variance required any other spot except for our Chapter 30.
Correct,
Okay.
correct. This, Chapter 30 is the historic preservation ordinance.
Yes.
The sign ordinance is what we're addressing here.
Oh.
So there's a separate sign ordinance.
And we can give that variance?
You have to give historic preservation approval.
Okay.
Then they have to go get their sign permit, and that's when the building department gets involved.
Okay.
So there are separate, I'm sorry I didn't state that clearly, but there are separate requirements that that are required at that point. And this may be a good time to get Kurt to.
So just so you know, if you do approve the monument sign, it has to have a setback of 15 feet from the property line, and it cannot be more than 90 square feet in total length.
Unless they ask for a variance,
No.
or even
Those-
with,
Those are ordinance, probably, is that, those are ordinance.
Allowing them to put that there, but then they have to meet the sign ordinance.
yeah, the only reason I ask is, fairly familiar with variances. My lot that my home is on is actually 4 lots, so it has a front on one street, and a back end on another street, but it is treated as a front. And so when we put a shed back there, I had to get a variance to move the shed, where I put the shed, because it was treated as a front yard, not a backyard. Is that the kind of variance that we're talking about here?
Yeah, that's a totally separate, that's another different chapter.
Okay,
So, but yes.
so there's,
then if they wanted to come back after you decide if the monument sign's appropriate, and they apply for their sign ordinance or sign permit with permits upstairs, we'll review it. And if at that point in time, they want to appeal the setback, that's a different, that's a totally different board.
okay, good. So we are only doing for the historical preservation
Yes.
aspect.
And I would
Sorry, guys.
assume that what we're requesting is not a variance of any policies, regulations, anything. It's to comply with their regulations. And in that case, as long as they comply, then they're asking your permission to put a monument sign on the
Okay.
property, as well as the one in compliance, the
Yeah.
building, the sign on the building.
As long as there's not, you don't have to go through one door first before the other one. It's okay to get this approval here and then go to the,
Yes, this is
Okay.
the normal course
I'm just
of,
trying to make it easy for them, easier.
right, this is the normal course, and would y'all like to come up and state your name and address?
And address, Stuart Turntine Irby with Turntine Jackson Morrow. Really, what we were kind of doing, more so than it being a monument sign, was trying to, so we've got the old Bratcher building there, and then we've got the parking lot and kind of that green space. What we're intending to do is try to bring that profile of the building west a little bit and try to offer a little bit of privacy to maybe if we do any existing parking or additional parking, kind of to cover that just a little bit. But it's pretty low profile, it's about 3 feet. Then we thought it would probably be a good place to kind of put our name around, but really more so just to extend the profile of the building to the east or west side there.
And those are the colors, so
Same brick that's on the building there.
I'm channeling Linda here. I'm channeling Linda.
The color on the color.
Okay, I don't have any more discussions or questions. Thank you.
Anita?
Thank you. So do I have a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the addition of an awning, oops, that's the wrong one, sorry. To approve, I want to make sure I get the words right, so these guys are going to go. I make a motion to approve a variance for the addition of a building sign and a monument sign at 401 West Woodard.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion by Kurt Chakowski and a second by Steve Riley. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
None opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Good luck to you, gentlemen.
Okay. All right, items, number C, letter C, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on adding an awning and signage to 231 West Main Street.
I'll be recusing myself.
Okay. And I will come find you.
You got to push the green button, yeah.
Not as easy as it seemed. Y'all ready?
Ready?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I was. So the applicant was communicating with me, and she didn't get back with me. So she assumed that she wasn't on the agenda and is not here. But Mr. Day is here. And so, Mr. Day, would you like to continue with the discussion, and at least maybe we could clear up where we were and possibly get farther, or just? Okay, if that's okay with you guys, I apologize for the misunderstanding. But this 231, and I'm referring to the Deviled Egg Company, is not here at the meeting. We had addressed this before in different parts of the building, and when we saw the pictures, there was a red awning. I believe that when you gave us the paint swatches, those, did you intend for that to be the awning colors? Okay. And we didn't clarify that. I don't know what you were under the impression of, but the minutes, Grant looked at the minutes, and it didn't state clearly. So maybe we can have that discussion, determine.
Okay, for the
where we
record,
were.
to go back to the other one there, Grant, the ones that are orange and yellow and red are now going to be this set of colors entirely.
I think he needs to address that. So, Mr. Day, if you would state your name and address.
Thank you. My name is John Day, 110 East Louisiana, McKinney, Texas. It was my understanding, may have been wrong, but I thought the orange and the colors had been approved when they issued the certificate of appropriateness some months ago. We had applied for all the orange are red, except the two on the corner, which are blue. And that was what I had thought was approved, and in fact have ordered those orange, and in fact people over there now putting up the frames. So what I would ask is the egg company, the deviled egg company, that is going in that corner space, they have asked that you approve their logo and the lettering. The deviled egg and the egg is their logo. And then cocktails and appetizers is their signage, if you will. And what I would ask you to do is approve the sign for the deviled egg company on the orange.
If I could go back here just really quick, there were two aspects that I recalled and what I read when I read the minutes. If you go to the other one there, the first was the question was, are we going to go with those colors except for the two corners where the doors were going to be? And there was still some question on that, and I think you answered that today. So they're going to be the orange and yellow except for this blue/lilac that are going to be at the doors.
There's no orange and no yellow.
Just red.
It's red.
Okay, so just red and when I-
Red and then blue on the corners. That's the two
Okay.
colors.
If you go to the one with the paint swatches, because I'm channeling a fellow member, this one says Metropolitan Lilac, which is kind of purple to me. So just so we understand, it's this color, not the blue that the designer pointed to for the Denison sign. So is it this blue, or is it the color sample there, lilac? And does it make a difference? I'm looking at my board members.
I had given the ladies who are not here the actual samples of the fabric that they were going to use. I don't have those with me, but they are very red and they are navy blue. To me, it's
Navy blue. Okay, so then we go to that one here now. In talking with her last time, she said for her brand, coming from Omaha, that the title of her establishment was going to be Deviled Egg Cocktails and Appetizers. And so, in going back to our ordinance, it says you can have the logo and the name and or the address, but not any salesmanship or things like this. So the way I took it is cocktails and appetizers is now part of her name. And even though when I Googled it, I only get the Omaha one that says coming to Denison, and the Omaha one is only Deviled Egg Company, going to the menu that she's going to have, I would take her at her word that it's cocktails and appetizers as a part of Deviled Egg Company.
Yeah.
And I think that blue or navy blue, even lilac, would work for me.
I think she's trying to keep the two separate,
I think
one
so.
with a different name.
I agree. I agree. But still retain the
Yeah.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have any more questions.
Any more questions?
Not for me.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
Okay, I'll make a motion, we approve the addition of the awning to the exterior of 231 West Main with the colors they have presented here.
I second.
Okay, we have a motion by Steve Riley and a second by Kurt Chakowski. And make a motion.
All those in favor?
Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you. It's approved. Thank you. Motion carries. It's funny to ask for a, since down here we've already
No,
done
I'm gonna say no on my own motion.
it. I changed my mind.
But for the record,
It was close.
all right, let's see, or staff updates.
Yeah, staff updates. Thank you for keeping me honest. Staff updates.
So the only thing I have is a Real Places conference that is historic preservation, certified local governments training that is provided by the Texas Historical Commission. It's coming in April, the 3rd through the 5th in Austin. There is an option to attend in person or a virtual registration. Last year, we have attended several times. Linda Anderson has attended before. And anyway, last year it was in February and it was IC here and we couldn't get there. And so I attended at home and watched the conference in Austin, and that was valuable for me. So do any of you, are you interested in attending in person or virtually?
And what month was that again?
April 3rd
Oh.
through the 5th.
Right after Easter.
I may be interested in person.
Okay. Okay. I will get with you with more information. Anybody else?
Certainly virtually, I'll have to think about in person.
Okay,
Virtually,
It
yes.
kind of beat me to make me go to Austin.
understand.
Just to drive there is a terrible.
That's it. If I could just get there.
Well, the virtual option is a good one. We have 2 trainings that are set. Did I check your calendar on that January training? Okay, making sure. So all the people that you see here, the fire marshal would be invited, you know, my staff, everybody that attends these meetings, as well as you. With the new historic preservation ordinance and design guidelines, you know, it's always been planned to have a training once those get approved. So we're all familiar with them on the same level and we can go through them and review them. I've asked the Certified Local Government Coordinator, Kelly Little, who you saw in Grapevine provide the CLG training, to come to Denison. And I've also asked her if she could do it maybe on the afternoon of one of your meetings. Like maybe we could provide lunch and then have that. So let me get that date specifically for you. It would be January 16th is when I scheduled it. So could we make a day of the January 16th meeting? Okay. I mean, I realize everybody might not have their schedule with them right now, but
I'm good with that.
you're good with it? Okay. And it's with Miss Anderson. We'll assume that she's not here, so she doesn't get to vote, right?
Mhm.
So we'll plan on that January 16th. That's Tuesday, January 16th. That would be right. Oh, I forgot that my 24 meetings aren't on in my calendar yet. So that, and then we'll also hope to have our city attorney come and do a shorter training on specifics, you know, like operational specifics. That will be, I don't know how long that will be. That will maybe be an hour, but I don't know. Chris Wallentine is scheduling that, and she's out today. So that's the plans. There will be more training, as always. And I talked to Miss Little. She did this for Grapevine, probably when she was down there for our training for their board. And she said they wanted a certain number of things on the agenda. So it was a day-long discussion. She thought maybe that was a bit much, you know, of time commitment and overload.
So does she bring the topics, or is that something we decide?
No, we will
Design
locally
Local.
choose the topics. And it's really our design guidelines, but I don't think we have time to read through those. So we'll, Mary and I will propose some topics and then make sure, of course, that it's the same topics that you want on there. But we will choose them locally.
Thanks.
So that's all I have.
I have 2 questions then. I'm sorry, you first,
January 16th.
for both?
Yeah.
Is it best to hold it after, like, something like this, so that it just, you're already here, it's an hour
Yeah,
after?
that'd be my
Yeah.
deal. Let's have try to get the attorney in on the same day.
Well, that's what we're working around her schedule, so.
She had some availability in December, but the times listed weren't ours, although the second meeting in December, she didn't go that far into her schedule, so she might possibly have time, so. Were you thinking about an hour?
Yeah, and I also spoke to Chris. She and I can do it without Julie, we feel, so if we have to go that option, and then if there are legal questions that we can't answer, we can always just, report back to her and get that and distribute that information too, so.
Let's do it in the extra room there at Landon.
I also wanted to mention, the conference, the early bird registration, I think the deadline is December 15th.
Yeah. So we will be registering all as a unit because you get a 10% discount. So I'll be sending you more information so we can get that registration turned in.
I do have 2 questions.
Okay.
First one is, did the ordinance and the guidelines get to the city council? When I looked at the agenda, I didn't see it on as an item.
No, it hasn't been on there yet, and I haven't been told yet if it will be the 4th or the 18th of December. They thought that the agenda may be such that it needs to be on the 18th, but they know I want to have it approved in December, and so I think that it will be.
Okay. Second one is, you saw the last one where I went not only to Mr. Hemphill or whatever, but the other names that are from the Grapevine historical folks, and I've gotten no answer, either to voicemails or to emails. Do you have any other contacts? This is for the city historic markers effort we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm
Getting
sorry
ghosted.
that you've had such trouble. I will talk, probably Miss Little can help me with some contacts. Maybe I'm talking to the wrong people.
I mean, we'll take them to lunch.
Yeah, maybe that's what they're opposed to. I don't know.
Then we'll just come down and sit. Whatever it is, just want to get some background. is all.
Yeah, I will help you try to,
Okay.
move that along.
Kevin, or Karen, what we're talking about is the city historic markers. Yes. Okay.
Do you know about those? Can you give her just a little brief?
When we went to Grapevine, this training session from the certified local government that Donna was talking about, provided by the Texas Historic Commission, when we did a walk around the historic downtown, they had city markers that were on buildings that had just a little bit about the history, and some of them were marked on the side of the building, some were down in the concrete there at the feet. And we thought, oh, that'd be a really neat idea while we're doing all this construction that is going on here right now. And so Linda and I are having I'm trying to forget the right term, an ad hoc subcommittee that we deliberately can't have more than 2, otherwise it's a quorum. And so she and I have been working. We wanted to go to Grapevine and see how they set their program up, who paid for it, where do they get their things, and just like outside Four Lions, that one's too big, but we're trying to get maybe something like in front of the Katy Depot, where there's the olive board, it's got the smaller version of that, and use that in front of the buildings, and then we would expand it to be something like this, not this thick, certainly, but to include a little map and a QR code that people could then, on their phone, walk around if they were interested, and if you could go in there. So lo and behold, what we didn't know is part of Main Street, Denison, one of the 10 goals is a city historic marker program. And so this would be in support of that as well.
Nice, good. Thank you. Okay, get a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
Okay.
Second.
Got a motion to adjourn by Kurt Chakowski and a second by Steve Riley, and that concludes the meeting of the Historic Preservation Board at 12:28 p.m. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.